Welcome back, everybody. I'm back here with Tom Turner from Penny Black Studios to talk about How We Soar.
Hey there, how you doing?
Thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, pleasure. Glad to be here.
How We Soar is a beautiful-looking game.
Thank you, thank you. It's our first game from the new studio, Penny Black Studios. It's a VR flight experience where you get to take up the reins of a beautiful giant phoenix and fly through an enchanted papercraft world.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like we have some footage here on the screen in front of us of the game. So just to be clear, this is a PlayStation VR only game. So it is built from the ground up for PlayStation VR, correct?
Yep, that's right. I mean, it's just for the PlayStation VR platform. And
look, you can see the controller there. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, the DualShock 4, that's your reins. So you're holding that out in front of you as you're riding on the Phoenix. And that was really important to us, that you had that sort of grounding in the world and that sort of sense of presence, that you're right there on top of it and controlling its every movement.
Great. I noticed that as we're flying past some of these tree branches, leaves are sprouting.
Yeah, so as you enter the world, you see that it's all contorted and very kind of abstract looking. The paper styling of the world, everything's it's torn and pulled apart. And as you go through the world, through the action of flight, you get close to the environment. You see it all curling, recombining, and forming more recognizable environments as you go. So that was one of the key pillars that we really wanted to get across here. Is this idea that you rebuild the world and bring it back to life as you go. You can see here what we're doing is, through the action of flight, as you get close to the surfaces of the environment, you're actually painting in and coloring in detail into the world. So
kind of restoring life to this world, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. So in this particular level, you'll see that there's stuff like grass unfurls in front of you, flowers pop up, detail like you see the water coming in, and that as well, as you're going around the world, you'll discover little extra bits of story detail for sort of the more completionist players. They'll be able to, the more that they uncover the world, the more they'll discover about the story here.
Cool. That seems like a very, very peaceful, very serene virtual reality experience. Was that the idea from the beginning? Because I feel like there are two different types of VR games. There's the super kind of realistic, put you in the like the London heist when you're in a getaway vehicle and it's action-packed and things blowing up around you. But then there's the really kind of like serene, like I said, very calming, therapeutic feeling experiences. Was this always the type of project you always wanted to work on for VR?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we wanted was to put the player in like a really positive, beautiful space, somewhere where you can go and just enjoy this sensation of flying through the world. I mean, the gameplay is, it doesn't force you to do anything at any given time. You can really take it at your own pace. I mean, for me personally, I love to get up to a higher speed and really go fast around the environment, get close to things, go through, up and under. Other people may want to just take it just a little bit slower, take in the scene. You can actually, slow right down to a complete hover and just, have a look around. So,
we've got some interesting figures appearing on the screen here.
Yeah. So the idea behind the game is you're revealing the story of the mysterious author, who's the character whose life and times you're discovering as you go. The objective is that you pass in and out of the worlds of reality and fantasy. So, and through that, you discover his life, basically. And you've basically, in the demo that we have here, you have two different story scenes that you're uncovering. So you have to recombine and rebuild the memories and the story that exists within the world.
Okay, cool. So tell me a little bit about Penny Black Studios, which is kind of a new outfit, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, We're a small team. There's a core of 3 of us. We're working with some very, very talented friends, colleagues, and new people we've met since we've started up. We previously worked with companies like Free Radical Design and Crytek, and we have a history with Sony. We've worked on numerous Sony exclusives before, and we had a real passion to get into VR, and through our previous dealings with Sony, we started talking, and it was like a really natural fit that we would start working on PlayStation VR, and Sony's just been so supportive in helping us get up and running and
awesome.
Get going on the platform. So it's been a whirlwind last year since we formed, but it's been incredible.
Cool,
amazing.
Man, that's great to hear. So I noticed something on the screen a moment ago during this footage. A smaller flying creature seemed to fly out from the front of the Phoenix that we're riding on. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so within the world, I mean, as I mentioned before, you can take the game at a much more leisurely pace, looking for little details, but the core objective is to reveal the story scenes. So in the E3 demo that we've got here, we've got these rings that you're flying through, collecting. If you do enough of those, you will release a key bird that will burst forth, and it sort of ups the tempo a little bit. And this little AI bird will start ducking and diving throughout the world, and you have to give chase and try and get close enough to capture it. And what happens is, you see in the footage, if you get close enough, the bird gets sucked into your DualShock 4 controller. You're there, you can see it, you've caught it, and you have to return it to the shattered memory core, which you can see over the top of that bridge there. So you return the key to the core, and it will recombine this into a story scene here.
Great.
So
kind of gives you that rhythm between the leisurely kind of flying around and then actual like game style things happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's a nice change of pace. It's exciting, and yeah, they're pretty tricky to catch. We're still in the process of working out the balancing for that and getting that just right for players. But it's great fun as well.
Great. What opportunities do you have when developing a game for virtual reality that you wouldn't have elsewhere, aside from the obvious sense of presence?
Well, I mean, for us, it's giving people a chance to be somewhere and do something that you wouldn't be able to experience in a traditional set video game, let alone even in real life. I mean, from all the people we've been speaking to this week at E3, and flying is a fantasy that many people have and dream about, and this was something that has been in a number of video games previously, but we believe that being there within this world, you're experiencing it in a way that you couldn't possibly do otherwise. This sort of connection with the bird that you're riding here. I mean, the detail and the animation that has gone into the bird, you sense it all around you, the wings coming up and the movement through the world. And it's VR that gives you the chance to actually feel this, as opposed to just see it in front of you, and that's what's so incredibly exciting about the technology. Yeah,
and that's the thing about VR is you see it on the screen here, and it looks beautiful already, but it is no substitute for actually putting on that headset and immersing yourself in that world, being able to look around and just see, be completely there. It's so interesting. I hope that people will just grab that VR headset when they have a chance to and try it for themselves, because that's the best way to really experience this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So this is how we soar. This is coming out. Do you have a release window in mind?
It's going to be Q4 this year. It'll be within the PlayStation VR launch window.
Okay, great, cool. Well, this is Tom Turner for Penny Black Studios. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me.
And that's how we soar. Looking amazing. I can't wait to try this one out.
PlayStation